stations.
Where else can you get it? Then, the station best in talk.
That's why education is the main thing. Once you kill education, you can control the people.
Africans just like to blame the...
It's our constitution ban military from intervention in the government.
Yeah, if you want to destroy any country, kill the education. It's as simple as that.
Former terrorists who are undergoing rehabilitation are now saying that the government's promise to pay them $30,000 has failed, and for that reason, they are on the streets protesting.
Possession doesn't win you matches round.
No, but if they can't hold on to the ball, they cannot score. Another thing again is our officiating, especially in the league. Why is it that Nigerian referees are not selected for CAF tournament or CAF matches?
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Let's talk.
The wait is finally over. That wait, long and enduring, for those who follow this contest and this station, well, it has been well worth it. So this is the time where we say welcome. Welcome Lagos. Welcome Nigeria to the 8th season of Nigeria Info's I Beg to Differ Students' Debate. Here, words are power, and every argument counts. I'm Femi Obong-Daniels.
I'm Yvonne, Okhaifo. We are streaming live on Facebook and YouTube. As always, join the live streams to interact with fellow viewers.
There is no time to waste. Let's meet our judges, starting with the Chief Judge, Dr. Chike Mgbadiche. He's the head of the Department of Communication, Media and Cultural Studies, the Pan-Atlantic University in Lagos, Nigeria. Dr. Mgbadiche, Chief Judge for this tournament, we bid you welcome, Dr. Chike Mgbadiche. Judge Amabasi Ekove, she's the Program Officer at Budget Nigeria, and she makes a return to Season 8, and we are delighted. Scratch that. Truly proud to have her. Third judge is Judge Ufoma Egbamuno. He's the news manager for all our stations. Cool FM, Wazobia FM, Nigeria Info, Kids FM, wherever you find us, Ufoma ensures you get the news. He's our third judge. There will be 3 central judges for this first Lagos regional debates, and they will be assisted by one more judge. Our diction judge is Judge Yvonne Okhaifo.
Tollywood College, Lagos, is the prize sponsor of I Beg to Differ Season 8. Our supporters, some of whom are returning, are Obiwizi. Now, if you need any kind of gadgets, Obiwizi is your plug. Biloxi is offering refreshments to the debaters. We also have Card Center Nigeria Limited as one of our supporters, and of course Lucas Green Fashion. For sponsorship or partnership, if you'd like to be a part of I Beg to Differ by way of sponsorship or partnership, send an email to info@nigeriainfo.fm.
All right, here's what at stake for the debaters. First place is a 1 million naira prize and of course gadgets, courtesy of Obiwizi. Second place prize is 500,000 naira and some more gadgets, courtesy of Obiwizi. Third place prize, 250,000 naira, and of course some gadgets to go with it, also courtesy of Obiwizi. Now this is where we introduce the contestants for these very firsts in this round of 32 debaters. The very first debate, it's going to go down between are we good? Too loud. Okay. All right. We'll come back to you in just a bit. Aha. So first debate is between Akinloluwa, Olajolo. Is that the pronunciation? Akin, what's the proper pronunciation of your surname?
Olajolo.
Olajolo. Yes. Olajolo. Well, Akinloluwa is 13. He's an SS1 student of Wellspring College, Lagos. Welcome, Akinloluwa.
Thank you.
Are you ready to do this?
Yes, I am.
His opponent, her name is Joy Enwenezi Ajirioghene. Enwenezi Ajirioghene. I'm sure I got Joy right. She is an SS3 student, aged 15 years of age. She's from Harbottle College. Hello, Joy. How are you?
I'm doing fine.
Would you like to help me out there with your name?
Enwenezi Joy Ajirioghene.
Enwenezi Joy Ajirioghene.
Yes.
Okay, the Ajirioghene, I tried, huh? Fantastic. Are you ready for this debate?
Yes.
Welcome, Joy, and welcome, Akinloluwa.
Right, Lagos, we made a few changes to the judging pattern of I Beg to Differ Season 8. And of course, the debaters were made aware of these changes as well. But here they are again. Of course, there will be 3 phases in the debate: the presentation, the rebuttal, and the closing stages of this debate. You will now get 4 minutes each in the presentation and rebuttal stages of the debate, okay? Now, for your closing round, you will get 3 minutes. Is that clear? You will get 3 minutes for closing, 4 minutes for presentation and rebuttal. You are to present all your points during both rounds, the presentation and the rebuttal rounds, because the closing round is no longer points-based. Of course, you were made aware of that. Okay? During your rebuttal rounds, you must first refute your opponent's points before adding extra points if you have some more points to add. Is that clear?
Yes.
Of course, you know judges will award points based on the number, the quality, and the originality of every unique point that you make during the presentation and rebuttal rounds. They will judge your closing based on how well you were able to convince them of the superiority of your arguments. Is that clear? Good.
All right. Just to remind you also, courtesy of Judge Yvonne, there will be deductions for grammatical infractions and grammatical and diction infractions. You probably already knew that. All right. Chances are you will be tied after all is said and done, after the initial 3 rounds of debate. If you are tied, you will engage in a tiebreaker round. And in that tiebreaker round, you will switch sides. You will go back to your opponent's topic and defend their position. You will have 5 minutes, one off, to do that. Your opponent will also get their chance. After that, we'll try as much as possible to break the tie. Hopefully, you are not tied anymore. Whoever wins that round wins it. Okay? And qualifies for the round of 16. This is the round of 32 debaters. Once again, it's time for us to get straight to it. There are rituals to be performed. Judge Yvonne will help with those.
You were told to prepare for both sides of the topic, right? Yes. Now we are going to decide how you debate. I've got 2 folded pieces of paper here. You will each pick.
All right. As that process is going on, we need to tell you this debate is between Akinloluwa Olajolo and Enwenezi Joy Ajirioghene. Akinloluwa is 13. He's in SS1 at Wellspring College. Joy is 15. She's in SS3 at Harbottle College. Yes, both of you have picked sides. Could we figure out what sides you've picked?
The supporting side, the proposition.
Okay, so Akinloluwa will be supporting the motion, huh?
And Joy will oppose the motion. The motion is the death penalty an effective deterrent to crime? Is the death penalty an effective deterrent to crime? Akinloluwa will support the motion. Joy will oppose the motion. Lagos, these debaters have their topic. They know their sides. They will debate. All that is left to do now is debate.
We'll take a quick break. When we come back, that's all the time you'll have to get really ready. We'll go straight into the debate.
This November, prepare for an epic clash of intellects. I Beg to Differ Secondary School Debate Competition is back. November the 11th, 2024, 32 of Lagos's brightest secondary school students will step up to the mic, where words become weapons and ideas ignite battles. From Monday, November the 11th at 4 p.m., they'll face off in fierce debates with only one goal: to be crowned the I Beg to Differ champion. Every round is a fight for glory, where one brilliant mind will rise above the rest. Who will be crowned the champion of thought? The ultimate showdown of wit, wisdom, and will is about to begin. I Beg to Differ Secondary School Debate Competition Season 8 commences Monday, November the 11th at 4 p.m. For sponsorship, please call or WhatsApp 0805-581-5844. I Beg to Differ is proudly supported by Card Center Nigeria Limited, Codros Group, Obiwizi, and Lucas Green Fashion House.
Prize money sponsor, Tollywood College, Lagos.
Welcome back. The debate is officially upon us. I Beg to Differ Season 8. This is the first Lagos Regional Finals. This first debate is between Akinloluwa, Olajolo, and Joy Ajirioghene Enwenezi. Akinloluwa is 13 SS1 student of Wellspring College. Joy is 15 SS3 student of Harbottle College, both in Lagos.
Akinloluwa, it is time to open your arguments. You have 4 minutes to do so.
Death penalty sends a clear message that no crime will be tolerated. Adjudicators, moderators, co-debater, audience, I am Olajolo Akinloluwa of Wellspring College, and I strongly support the motion that states death penalty is an effective deterrent to crime. Moral duty to protect society. Firstly, society's gravest duty, deeply rooted in its ethical obligation, is to protect society. It is to protect society. The death penalty, harsh yet necessary. Is removes those deemed by a competent court to be beyond rehabilitation, those whose actions have placed them beyond the pale of human redemption. This action is not sought out of vengeance, but out of the ethical obligation to maintain human decency. Next, affirmation of social contract. The death penalty reaffirms the social contract, with 60% of Americans supporting the death penalty, showing the shared belief that the most severe crimes must match the most severe punishment. Next, enforcing consequences. The death penalty enforces consequences. Heinous crimes attack societies in ways that cannot be undone. The death penalty is society's definite response. Although rehabilitation may be an ideal, but for serial murderers, it's not. It's a far distant hope. The death penalty embodies society's unwillingness to accept that the death penalty defies society's unwillingness to accept that some things affect the bounds of human decency. Next, global consensus for death penalty. From the United States to Saudi Arabia to Japan, the death penalty is used under diverse ethical, legal, as political systems, showing a shared belief in its necessity for deterring crimes. The death penalty does not only have a global shared consensus, it also gives a common sense that the ultimate sanction is death penalty for the most serious crimes. Cultural support for death penalty. In many societies, including ours, there's a retributive support for death penalty. There's a cultural support for retributive justice. The death penalty sends a key signal that that punishment should be proportional to the crime. In these societies, it's not just about a measures, but it's about reflecting their value systems. It's about reflecting their value systems and upholding law and order by holding individuals to their actions. Next, closure to victims and family. Imagine a young girl of 9 years old senselessly raped and murdered. Do you think her family will be happy knowing that her murderer and her rapist is long enough in some prison, supposedly getting reform? They will feel insulted. It will be naively argued that no amount of punishment can clear the pain of loss, but for many families, the death penalty shows that justice has been served and gives a sense of fulfillment. Next, economical benefit. The death penalty shows an economical benefit. Why should hardworking citizens bear the cost of the death penalty and sustaining people who have breached society's trust, when we can better resources allocation to things like medication, the things like the health center and reporting crime in our society. Finally, plea bargaining. Imagine a family in going through endless legal battles. Only to be faced with the uncultured and uncalled for delay in finding justice. The death penalty cuts through this agonizing process by giving the criminals the incentive to confess in exchange for execution, in exchange for life imprisonment, which shows an admission of guilt. And furthermore, showing that death penalty is an effective deterrent to crime. Thank you.
Well done.
And so his opening round done. We'll give the opportunity to his opponent, Joy, for her opening round.
Joy, your time starts now.
Death penalty is wrong because it disproportionately affects certain groups, inflicts physical and psychological torments, burdens taxpayers, and doesn't deter the root causes of crime. Before I proceed, however, it's absolutely imperative to give honor to human honor due. Good day, chairman, moderator, panel of judges, market timekeeper, listeners and viewers. I am Enwenezi, a strong opposer of the motion that says death penalty is an effective deterrent to crime. Death penalty is an effective deterrent to crime due to certain reasons. One, it doesn't address the root causes of crime. Death penalty doesn't address the root causes of crime. Death penalty doesn't address the social and economic factors that contribute to crime, including poverty, unemployment, drug misuse, cultural and family background, criminal justice system, including overpopulation in prison and human rights violation. Next, the death penalty is irreversible. Death penalty cannot be reversed in light of new evidence and errors. An analysis shows that 90% of states with the death penalty had an abolished. 90% of states with death penalty had an overall error rate of 52%, and in another year, 80% of countries with the death penalty had an overall error rate of 60%. Next, no proven reduction in crime. In many countries where the death penalty had been abolished, violent crimes have not increased. Next is tool of authoritarianism. The death penalty is meant to only punish serious crimes, but in places around the world, the government use executions freely and for non-lethal crimes. This clearly shows that the government inflicting the death penalty is. This clearly shows that the government inflicting the death penalty is. This clearly shows that the government inflicting the death penalty is. The death penalty is not interested in justice, but rather in suppression and control. Next, why isn't the death penalty dissuading criminals? According to an article in Psychology Today, the death penalty doesn't serve as a threat to criminals. According to research, for 3% of people with death penalty, 43% of people in the state prison had a mental disorder. For 3% of people in state prison had the mental disorder. Next, inconsistent application and potential bias. The death penalty is applied unevenly with racial, social, and economic biases affecting sentencing. The lack of fairness in the application further undermines its credibility as a just form of punishment. Next, change of personality. Death penalty denies capacity of people to change their ways and mend their ways and become a better person in the future. Next, risks of wrongful execution of people. Since the death penalty is irreversible, innocent people have been wrongly executed. This undermines its effectiveness as a deterrent. Next, moral and ethical concern. The death penalty violates human rights irrespective, regardless of its potential as a deterrent. Next is burdens taxpayer. According to Amnesty International, the data collected by Amnesty International, Kansas pays 70% more for a death penalty than a no-death penalty case. Next, counterproductive. The death penalty is counterproductive because it legitimizes killing. The death penalty is counterproductive because it legitimizes killing, which is the behavior the law seeks to repress. Next, it doesn't deter crime. The death penalty doesn't deter crime. And a 2020 analysis shows that 9 out of 10 states with the highest murder rate had a death penalty, and 8 out of 11 states with low murder rates had abolished death penalty. Next is cruel and inhumane. The death penalty is cruel and inhumane because the the constitution doesn't support cruel treatment. For instance, in the Nigerian Constitution, chapter 14, fundamental rights, section 34 states the right to life, section 35 right to fair hearing, and section 36 right to liberty. Thank you.
Right on time.
Just about. Interesting opening rounds between these two young debaters. Joy you just had, Akinloluwa you heard shortly before that. We'll take a quick break. When we come back from off this break, it will be time to go straight to the rebuttal rounds of this debate. Don't go anywhere.
Obiwizi is Nigeria's pioneer e-commerce platform for pre-owned gadgets. They are Nigeria's home of gadgets with warranties, where you can purchase all your favorite devices and quality accessories, both brand new and pre-owned. You can also trade in your older devices for a newer model in a simple and convenient way. To crown it all, when you decide to sell off that device of yours to meet that important cash obligation, Obiwizi is your guy, literally your guy. With offline and pickup stores in Ikeja, Lekki, Abuja, and Benin, Obiwizi delivers nationwide. So make sure you are following Obiwizi on Instagram at Obiwizi Backup Page. Yes, that is on Instagram. You could send an email to the email address info@obiwizi.com or go to the website at www.obiwizi.com. They are also on X at Obiwizi, literally Obiwizi. Obiwizi is spelled Obiwezi. Yes, Obiwizi. Follow them on all pages and of course all social media platforms and get that device of your dreams.
Welcome back. This is the very first debate of season 8 of I Beg to Differ Students Debate. I'm Femi, and with me, as usual, as always,
Yvonne. Welcome back. Let's get straight into the rebuttal rounds. And for this round, we'll revert to the motion opposer. That would be Joy Ajirioghene. Joy, you now have 4 minutes to refute your opponent's points.
All protocols duly observed, and I remain the strong opposer of the motion that says death penalty is an effective deterrent to crime. Firstly, I'm here to refute my opponent's point. Firstly, you made mention of moral duty to protect society. Actually, the death penalty doesn't protect the society. For instance, when terrorists invade the community, how does it protect the society? It rather inflicts crime and physical and psychological torment. Next, you mentioned enforcing consequences. Well, innocent people are executed, making the whole world blind. Innocent people are executed, making the whole world blind, and that doesn't enforce any consequence. Next, global consensus. For instance, the Nigerian Constitution prohibits cruel treatment, like I said earlier, the Constitution in chapter 14, which is fundamental human right. Next, you mentioned closure for families and victims. Death penalty doesn't bring healing at all to the families, especially during the lengthy period of appeals, where including trials, the court usually adjourn cases. And how does it? And during that period of adjournment, the family will be in complete grief. Next, you mentioned economic benefits, but actually the death penalty doesn't provide any economic benefit, rather it burdens taxpayers. An analysis shows that 2.4 million naira is always used for a death penalty, and 1.2 million naira is used for imprisonment. You mentions burdening societies or willingness. The society doesn't like the death penalty, and people are being the families are sympathizers are being. Next, you mentioned cultural support for death penalty in the Igbo land. Death penalty is not taken properly because it doesn't support the Igbo land doesn't support cultural support for the death penalty. I'll be adding more points to this argument. Next is cruel and inhumane. The death penalty is cruel and inhumane, affecting societies and humans. Next, doesn't deter crime. The death penalty doesn't deter crime at all. Next, before I proceed, I would like to give a few more statistical studies under cruel and inhumane. Thank you.
Okay. Enwenezi Joy, Ajirioghene, 15-year-old SS3 student of Harbottle College. That was her rebuttal round. We'll switch now to her opponent, Yvonne.
That's right. Akinloluwa, it is time to refute your opponent's points.
All protocols duly observed. My opponent made some strong points, but to refute them, she said it burdens taxpayers. The reason why some death penalty cases are expensive is to make sure that justice is served. Also attacking another point of one that she made, that of wrongful convictions. The DNA testing employed in the justice system has removed the possibility of wrongful convictions. She also said that deterring crime, that there's no way death penalty can deter crimes of passion. But this undermines the belief that most crimes are done deliberately and not out of passion. She also said places where the death penalty is not active have lower crime rates. This ignores the difference in political and economical context. She also spoke about the morality of death penalty. I also asked her, is killing and murdering, is raping a moral concept? Every society has a duty to remove these crimes. Raping, killing, and other crimes are more or less worse than the death penalty. Reoffending. She mentioned that it does not allow second chances. A study shown in the US, a study shown by the International Death Penalty Center, shows that in the US, people that are killed, people who are put on the death row are reoffenders. Example: Jeffrey Dahmer, who reoffended more than 25 times. Does that mean that the system which she so much claims gives the chance of second chances still allows these people to reoffend? In China, with one of the lowest crime rates, shows the deterrent effect because of where the death penalty is in place. She also made mention of Nigeria's constitution. I also say that Section 24 of the Nigerian constitution shows that the state determines the measures to these crimes, which is contradicting to her own statement of Section 14, Section 30, and Section 32. I also want to say terrorism is not death penalty. When people you contradicted yourself when you said terrorists enter societies and kill people. When terrorists enter societies and kill people, should they be jailed, killing women, raping women that were pregnant? Or do you believe that the Boko Haram is a socially just system who does not deserve to be killed when caught? Also, the death penalty also gives the incentive for criminals to rethink their action and confess and cooperate with the government, as seen in many cases in Saudi Arabia, where drug traffickers confess and cooperate with the judgment. The death penalty is not merely a gesture, but also shows the deterrent effect, and also shows the deterrent effect. Thank you.
Well done. So we'll take a quick break to return the closing round of the debate. You have had the presentation and the rebuttal rounds. The topic remains, is the death penalty an effective deterrent to crime? Akinloluwa says yes. Joy says no.
Lucas Green is offering something special. Get 2 stunning dresses, 2 fabulous jumpsuits, a chic top with your choice of skirt or trousers, all for just 160,000 naira. But don't wait. Pre-order by November 30th to grab this exclusive bundle. Delivered just 25 days after payment. Hurry, cause styles like this don't last long. Message us on WhatsApp at 070-328-67011 to place your order today. Lucas Green, bringing your custom look to life. Or visit our Instagram at womenwear_by_Lucas Green, or our website at www.womenswearbylucasgreen.com.
Welcome back. It is indeed I Beg to Differ Season 8. Special thanks to all our partners, supporters and sponsors. Special thanks to Obiwizi, Biloxi, Card Center, Nigeria Limited at CCNL. Thanks to Lucas Green Fashion as well as Codros. There's still much debating to come. The second debate this Thursday is in the next hour. In the meantime, it's time for these 2 fine young debaters to close their arguments.
You will each get 3 minutes to do so. We will revert to the motion. Supporter Akinloluwa, it is time to rest your case.
The question placed before us today is simple. Is death penalty an effective deterrent to crime? And the answer is yes. In regions where the death penalty has been used, it shows an effect and it shows a record in low crime rate. My opponents may